뉴욕타임즈인데 전광훈 미친 목사의 이 새끼 기사가 지금 뉴욕타임즈의 한복판에 나왔습니다. Always taking it to the street. Protest in South Korea, a part rock concert, part revival meeting. 이런 미친놈이 목사라고, 이런 새끼가 목사를 하고 있으니. A recent rally in Seoul carried the sound of a rock festival, high amp speakers throbbing with the K-pop hit Gangnam Style, if not the look of one. The crowd of mostly elderly people, 아이고, 나이 먹은 새끼들, waved the South Korean and the American flag to the song's revived refrain, anti-communist style. When speaker after speaker wrapped up the crowd with pro-American, anti-communist chants, the crowd shouted, "Hooray for President 윤석열." 미친놈 새끼. 에이 개자식들아. Days later, when thousands of mostly younger protesters marched through the same city center, they shook handheld signs and chanted, "Out with 윤석열." Park-yeol, a regular at such rallies, showed up as an inflatable caricature of the South Korean leader. Fellow protesters took selfies while putting him in a headlock. "Some people tried to punch me," said Mr. Park 50, "but that's the point. I want to demonstrate how mad people are at Yoon." Protest rallies have been a fixture of this capital city of Asia's most vibrant democracy for decades. Born during South Korea's difficult march toward democracy in the 1980s, when large crowds, often armed with rocks, fire bombs, and even stolen rifles, clashed with the riot police, tanks, and paratroopers. Distrustful of their government, South Koreans have a penchant for taking all manner of grievances to the street, so much that it has turned demonstrating into a kind of national pastime. As the coronavirus pandemic has receded, protest rallies have returned to Seoul with a vengeance. Barely a weekend passes without the city centers turning into a raucous bazaar, ringing with live-streamed protest songs, slogans, and speeches that reveal a country increasingly polarized over the president. The vast majority of protests now are organized by rival political activists who use the social media, especially YouTube, to mobilize supporters and live stream their gatherings, with the churchgoers and other elderly citizens on the right and mostly younger progressives on the left. They have become a public referendum on Mr. Yoon and his policies. Left-wing protesters call Mr. Yoon a national traitor and demand his impeachment, holding him accountable for policies they see as anti-feminist and anti-journalist. For the crowd crash last fall that killed 159 people, and for his attempt to improve ties with Tokyo, Korea's historical enemy, despite Japan's release of treated radioactive water from its Fukushima nuclear power plant. But Mr. Yoon has found a sorely needed ally in right wing, mostly Christian and elderly South Koreans who rallied to defend him and the country from pro-North Korean communists. That is a Cold War era label that still pack a punch in a country that remains technically at war with North Korea and still. South Korea 페이지 2로 넘어가네. 에이구, 이런 새끼가 이게 목사라고 지가 뭐 프로핏이라고 선지자라고 이런 쓰레기 같은 놈이 무슨 선지자야. Always taking it to the street. Protest in South Korea, a part rock concert, part of the revival meetings.